Hey guys, welcome back to the So What Now What podcast. My co-host today is Jacqueline Smith, owner of the Fashion Factory Boutique in downtown Gulfport. Y'all, her story is amazing on how she got to where she is, all the trials and tribulations that she had to go through, all the hoops she had to jump. Come meet Jacqueline. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the So What Now What podcast. This is my girlfriend, Jacqueline. She's the owner of the Fashion Factory in downtown Gulfport. We're so excited to have her today. Y'all, she is like the mompreneur of the mompreneurs. She is a jack of all trades.
Thank you.
She's finally a master of one. I'm a master of none still.
I have been through the gambit of what I wanted to do or what made me happy. And sometimes you have to have a job just because you have to have a job. And sometimes that was the case. But
been there,
I
done
finally feel like I found what
I
I love and what I'm super happy to do. So it did not go without a lot of failures. So
which is exactly the whole point of this podcast, so just to figure out, you know, to talk to people who have been there, done that. But first, before we get started with that, what is one piece of advice that just sticks with you?
It was probably from my mother.
Here you
when
go,
I
Mom.
was when I was a teenager.
You matter.
Yes, for sure. She's a very wise woman, very kind. But whenever I was a teenager, I don't remember what I was upset about, but she said to me, will it matter in 5 minutes? Will it matter in 5 hours, 5 days? If not, let it go. So, and then another thing.
I love that.
Another thing, and she didn't say give grace, but I know that's what that was. Because she always, I feel like, gave people the benefit of the doubt. Jacqueline, you don't know if they just found out their mom was diagnosed with cancer, if their child is sick, if they just lost their job, you know, that sort of thing. So sometimes you need to give grace even when you don't want to, because you don't know what they're going through. So
I find myself giving that piece of advice, and I don't know that I was ever given that, but I just know that I've been in situations where I'm like, you have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. And
and most people, you know, you may find out a week later or a year, 5 years later, but everybody's going through something. And I think we're all really good at hiding it well, and putting on that mask, but give grace, because everybody's going through something, whether it's with work or their spouse or their children or things like that. So that's always really stuck with me from her. So that's probably the two things I would say.
Yeah, and what I've found recently is it doesn't matter how bad it is for you, because it could be the absolute worst, but there's always something somebody is going through that is worse than yours.
Oh, for sure.
Always.
For sure. Yeah.
So
I would definitely agree with that.
Okay, so back to business stuff, lady.
Yes.
So tell us what all you've tried, because she's like my soul sister when it comes to this. We have tried many of things.
Honey.
Many.
Honey, I feel like, what haven't I done? I went to beauty school, did hair for 9 years.
I didn't know that. That's why you always have such cute hair.
Oh, no, that's Mary Alexis next door.
You know how to pick it, girl. I love your hair.
Thank you. I was a hairdresser, loved it, loved the atmosphere, got burnt out. Was just like, just tired of doing this. I was a teacher assistant. I did Aflac
all
insurance.
The things I didn't know.
Look, I loved it. I was a teacher assistant, and they don't make anything. And I was in kindergarten, actually with Renee Kim, who actually was my teacher back in the day.
No way.
Yeah.
Now you're from the Mississippi Gulf Coast? Okay.
Yep. So anyway, I loved it, but you don't make anything doing that. But just to see those kids grow, because I was in kindergarten, from they come in and they know next to nothing to seeing them flourish over a year, and they absorb everything. So I loved that, but of course, just breadcrumbs. I did Aflac insurance with my mother, life and health. I mean, I've done a little bit of everything. So, but finally have landed on this, and it really just kind of happened. I worked at a doctor's office for a while, and anyway, wasn't there any longer, got let go, and I was emotionally just like squandering. I didn't know, like, what is it? Like, I am, X amount of years old. I gotta I can't remember how old I was. Early 30s. And I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like, I was so sad. It took me so off guard. And I was really struggling. My husband was like, you need to take some time, figure out what you really want to do. And like 2 weeks later, I was like, I want to have a store. I want to open a boutique. And he's like,
You want to what?
come again? And that's
we need
kinda
something
how-
that makes us money,
Yeah,
not costs
yeah,
us money.
Yes. So that's kind of how it started. And I started just asking those before me, you know, what should I do? What did you find that worked best for you? How do I get an EIN number? And I didn't know anything. I would literally Google or ask women that had been in the business that were willing to talk to me.
Yeah, because not all women are.
That's true.
Not all women are.
And so I just really started figuring out and just kind of jumped in with both feet and started in my living room with 2 racks of clothes.
So she used to come to one of my mini entrepreneurships. She would do pop-up shops. She would do them at schools. She did them in our coffee shop, in our Loaded Tea shop. Like she would just go all over the coast doing these pop-up shops where she would come and set up for hours a little mobile boutique inside wherever it is you were having it, in your home, at work, you know, after hours shopping for you and your gal pals at the office.
And it was really funny because, or fun I should say, because I'm such a people person and I love meeting new people and just kind of getting to learn, you know, who they are and that sort of thing. I just have that type of personality. And it really just clicked for me. I really enjoyed it. And of course, you know, we're doing pop-ups for shopping. People are, you know, having drinks and doing charcuterie boards and things like that because I was going into women's homes. So it was always like a fun atmosphere, you know, not stressful like insurance and some of the other things that I had done. But it was just such a good time. And don't get me wrong, there's been learning that has gone with it. And of course, I still am learning as we go. But it was great. And like she said, I used to go into schools. And that's where I have a lot of teacher customers. And I feel like that's where I kind of picked all of those women up because I would come into whatever school would allow me in the break room or that sort of thing. And the teachers could come in on their off period. And it was something fun for them, especially around holidays because when you get off work, you don't want to go into all the stores if you don't have to.
Or if you're like us and you're moms, she's a boy mom also, so we have 2 other things in common.
4 boys.
We're both boy moms. We're both badge wives.
Yeah.
So she's a fireman's wife and I'm a police wife, so we have lots in common. And sometimes you don't have time to go shopping, especially for yourself.
Yeah.
And so that was one of the funnest nights at the shop. I was like, kids, husband, you're on your own.
Yes.
We're having
Figure it
ladies' night. Figure it out. Dinner's in the freezer if that's what you want. Cereal, I don't care.
Yeah.
Because I'm having charcuterie and shopping. So sorry about the bill, honey. But and it was
so fun. Yeah. And I really tried to remember that those women that allowed me to come in are the reason why I'm here.
Yeah. And so she just made her 2-year anniversary mark this month.
Yes, so I did the
with having the storefront, right?
Right. So I did the pop-ups for 2 years, and let me tell you, when I got done with that, my kids, because I have boys, so naturally I'm like, boys, we gotta load everything.
Load the car up.
We gotta load the car. Okay, guys, I'm back. We gotta unload the car. So we did that for 2 years. It was a lot, but of course you're gonna go through that. You got to work hard to get where you want to be. So. 2 years of doing the pop-ups, and then we just made 2 years here at the store.
And your boys and your husband have supported you just about every step of the way, huh?
Oh yeah, for sure. They were always loading mannequins and unloading mannequins and, you know, helping me carry all the things. And, you know, whenever I was gone on Friday nights and Saturday nights and things like that, you know, my husband kind of took up the slack at home. So
we both have a passion for fashion, and it's just amazing to see where she started and where she is now. 4 years, like nothing's overnight. I think we get caught in the instant gratification. Everything is fast food, fast, you know, drinks.
Amazon
whatever.
2-day shipping, all of that. Yep.
So
get used to it.
What are some things that were roadblocks for you that you had to learn to pivot through? You said you've learned a lot in the last 2 years, or in 2 years of pop-up shops, and then in 2 years of, you know, brick and mortar. Like, what are some of the pivots that you've had to really just shift?
Okay.
Mindset or otherwise?
Yeah. Probably the biggest thing that I thought is like, I have to have it all figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about this? Well, I don't know what kind of tax paperwork I need or what kind of licensure I need. And I actually had this ring made that says go for it whenever I started it.
I love
because I was like that. I was like, I wanted to have every detail ironed out. I wanted to know who my vendors, how do I apply for vendors and wholesale applications. And I feel like I was just so in the mindset that I had to have it all figured out to get started. And I didn't. Finally, I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. I'm going to start Googling. I'm going to start figuring out the first thing. Take it one bite at a time to where I can figure it out piece by piece, day by day, instead of where before I felt like I had to know everything about it and every little thing that that I thought I needed to have put together to get started.
And I think, so that is like one of the biggest takeaways from today, y'all. If you're out there watching this and you're wanting to get started doing something, anything, whether it's change your lifestyle and the way you eat, start working out, open a business, whatever it is, start going to church. You don't have to have your life together to figure it out. You figure it out as you go. As
you go, for sure, because I feel like I've applied that to so many more situations like we have. And I guess this is another huge thing for us is we have a foster baby, and where before I feel like I would need to have everything, like the what ifs and all that figured out, we just kind of went for it. And it's scary, as you can imagine, that you'll have this baby for some time, but then he may be taken away. And so with that, we were just kind of like, we talked about it, and we're just, we're just going to go for it. And it might hurt and it might be ugly, and there are things about it that completely have been. But I'm happy to say that we're on the right track, and everything should be complete in about 90 days or so. We've had them for almost 3 years now. So that's another thing I've applied that to, is just go for it, start, do something, get that paperwork rolling, or, start that savings so that you can quit whatever it is and, maybe you start your own business or that sort of thing. So
how do you balance this with being a mom? Because momming is the hardest job I've ever had in my whole life.
Yes. How do I balance that? Well, I will say I have a big family, so that is huge.
Tell them Tell them about your big old family.
Yeah. Okay. I have 5 sisters.
She went from 5 sisters to having 4 boys.
4 boys. Yeah. And they almost all have girls. Like there's a couple boys, but it's mostly girls. And probably my mom and dad are huge helpers for me. But it's not easy. And I was just telling Bryn before we got on here, it's Dr. Seuss week. And you know what? I actually brought him in stripes and a cat in the hat, because before I have shown up to preschool and they're like, Jacqueline, he's supposed to have a costume on. And I'm like, I'll be right back. I'm going to run to Walmart. Yeah. So it's not easy, and I don't always meet the mark, but my family has been a huge help to me, trying to schedule things where I can just go and do something with a girlfriend, because as we all know, it's tough to do that, but when you come back, you feel refreshed and like you've had a little me time, and you don't have, a baby needing you or boys needing you to figure out what's wrong with the Wi-Fi, or because their ages range from, we have a 19-year-old, a 17-year-old, an 11-year-old, and a 2.5-year-old. So big age gaps. It's like we need a sippy cup, but then we also have to see about college stuff that's going on and everything in between. So, so it's not always perfect by no means, but we make it work. It's great. We love it.
Now, has Scott always been supportive of all of your entrepreneurial things? Because some men are not. Some spouses not men, but spouses
has. He really has. He's always been at the fire department since we were dating. So he's always had a good income. He always has had like a lawn business, and he has done stucco on the side for many years. So he's always been the breadwinner, and then whatever I made was kind of like, extra. So he really has. Now, whenever I said that I wanted to do this venture, of course he would be gun shy. There's a lot of money and investment that goes into it, and upon my record, I'm not real great about sticking with something for too long.
My husband said.
So
like, what's
he was a little nervous, and I don't blame him. But yeah, I would say he's been a trooper for going through and lasting through all my ventures. So
I love it. I
Yeah.
love it. I love it. So what is your favorite part of owning and running a boutique? Like your absolute favorite?
ooh, okay, well, that's an easy one. Like getting to play dress up all the
day, every
time,
day.
and I love like accessories. I really think you can have just kind of a simple outfit, but then really zhuzh it up with accessories, and so of course that's fun. But then also when a woman comes in, and this has happened quite a few times, I guess I kind of take it for granted that I've always loved it and kind of had a knack for it, but there's so many women that struggle with it that don't really know what to put together, and I didn't really realize that was like an actual issue for, many years. But I love whenever there's a woman that comes in and I ask her what she's looking for. Well, I don't know, I've got a wedding coming up that I need to address or something for. And I'm like, okay, what do you want to steer clear of? Do you hate green? Do you hate stripes? Like, let's knock that out. And then I'll go and pull things and bring them to the dressing room. And whenever they say, oh, I really love this, I would have never picked this for myself. I love that. It makes me so excited. And you're, in this business, you're always, with what you're providing as a service, you're always making women feel good.
Yeah.
And always providing, some semblance or some aspect of happiness, because
Happiness, confidence,
yeah,
self-worth, even,
yeah. So I love that. I love when it's somebody that kind of comes out of their shell, or they walk out and y'all, I gotta tell you this. I have a friend, and this is what I was leading into. She's almost 70, and she was trying on, or I told her to try on these silver metallic pants. And I had envisioned that they would be sold to like 20-year-olds, just in my own mind. Like, this is kind of edgy-ish, not everybody walks around wearing silver metallic pants. Honey, she is almost 70. She sent me a photo of it a couple days ago. She wore it, looked amazing. Like, I love that kind of thing where maybe they wouldn't necessarily gravitate toward that, but they tried it, and she came out of the dressing room. She's like, I really like these.
A whole new human being.
Yeah, like I love that kind of thing. And of course, like I said, meeting new people and building relationships and seeing people out in town, and I'm like, that's my shirt. That's my dress. Or when I love when customers send me photos of like they're at a wedding or out to dinner or whatever, and send me a photo wearing something that we picked out. So just that kind of thing is really exciting. I love that.
And I love that about you, because y'all have got to find you a boutique owner like Jacqueline, because I can see something that she's posting on social, and she knows me. She knows that I'm barely 5'1". I am, yay big around. Like, she knows my insecurities.
I'll be like, nope, that's
I'll
too
love
too
showing
long.
my legs.
That's too long. You're too short. Sorry, love you, but that's not going to work.
Yeah, and she'll pull things and be like, hey, I got these, and I don't know if you need, jeans right now, or I don't know if you need this, but this is totally you.
Pushy.
No.
I don't like pushy.
She's not pushy,
not
but she
buy,
definitely knows.
Yeah, I'm not going to buy from a place where I feel like they're just trying to sell me something.
Don't treat me like a car salesperson. That is just.
And I feel like people respect that, because I don't just like, ooh, yes, ooh, yeah, it looks amazing.
Yeah, you're not a yes man by any means.
I don't do that. I'm like, that's not my favorite.
Nope.
That's what I'll say. Something along those
she'll be like,
lines.
nope, that color is not going to be good with your skin tone, but this one will. Like,
yeah. So I try to be, and we all should be, but I try to be really honest about that kind of thing. And like I said, I think people kind of respect that. And sometimes they don't leave with anything, but I'd rather them walk around not having something on that looks terrible, and they're like, oh, I got this from the Fashion Factory.
and you're like, oh, please don't tell me.
Yeah. So I try to be honest about that. And it doesn't always lead to a sale, but that's okay.
I love that. So do you have any plans to expand, or I've seen where you've incorporated some guy stuff. Is that in the thought process maybe, or no?
Not guys. Long story short, we were going camping. I was trying to find a shirt for my son that said the mountains are calling and I must go. And so I don't know, later that night I got to thinking, like, how could this be applicable to where we live? So I came up with the islands are calling and I must go. And then the next morning I woke up like, I wonder if our island names will fit somehow on that saying. And it worked out. It did. I wrote it on a napkin. And
the best ideas
yeah,
come.
yeah. I wrote it on a napkin, and I was kind of showing some of my family, and they were like, "Oh, Jack, that's really cool." And so then we came up with a front logo with the MS for Mississippi, and then we did an outline of the barrier islands around that, and that's the front pocket. So those were just kind of something that just happened, and they've been really popular. We also make that in a Richardson hat too. That you know, the guys.
My boys got
those
for Christmas,
yes,
and they
for
got the
kids.
shirts because they all go out on the boats and whatnot. So it's perfect.
That no, not men's. That just kind of happened, and I have 4 boys, and my husband loved it, and my brother-in-law loved it. So that's kind of how that
So it's
happened.
like a one-time, like
Yeah.
or
We
as,
have
or
them
as
in
it
stock,
comes.
but
And,
yeah, not something I'll pursue. My husband has said, "Why don't you do men's?" I'm like, absolutely not. There's no joy in that for me. I don't like. I know y'all want to look good, and that's great.
But don't come here.
Yeah, I'm just not into it. And if I'm not into it, I'm not going to push it or believe in it. So, but yes, we have talked about maybe another location or.
You don't have to disclose anything you don't want to disclose.
No, we have talked about another location or pushing online more. We started a TikTok a while back and just
It's going good.
I wasn't super active on it for a while, and then I was like, you know what? I have ordered quite a few things from TikTok Shop. Why don't I try to put some more energy into that? So we are trying to work on our TikTok. And if you get 1,000 followers, you can start doing those lives. So we're working on growing our audience on TikTok, and we might do another store location. I just kind of feel like, oh, that's a lot. But there's women that have like
Several
4,
franchises.
10 locations, you know, and I'm like, wow, how? So yeah, there's thought behind that. So we just haven't really landed on anything. So. We'll see.
Also, I wanted to point out that Jacqueline features a ton of like local artists, local, I don't know, like just local people, and a local business just speaks to my heart and soul.
So I feel strongly about that because if it wasn't for all these women around here allowing me to have somewhere to sell, I wouldn't be here. So I feel like that's kind of my way to kind of give back to that thought process, to where these women that are making beautiful jewelry or tea towels but just don't have somewhere to sell them or get them in front of people. So we have several, like a candle lady that is amazing, the signature. I know.
Y'all already know how I feel about that. Her signature 17 is the scent of my household.
Amazing.
My children think
really
I've
is.
gotten a house cleaner when I even just spray it once or twice in my house. I'm
Yeah,
like,
just go around spraying like
Yeah.
it's totally clean in here. But yeah, we have local jewelry makers. We have a lady from Biloxi that makes our tea towels, pottery. So
Painters.
yeah,
Your mom, her mother's an artist.
Yeah, she's really good. She does watercolor painting. So I try to house local people, and I think people appreciate that as well.
yeah.
Especially, we get a lot of people from New Orleans in here.
Really?
Yes. Right? Shocking. That's kind of how I felt. But after like the 25th one, I was like,
I guess
okay.
Gulfport's a place they just.
I think it's the casinos. But yeah.
Oh yeah.
But anyhow, they want to have something made by someone local from here or for a gift for someone. So our local stuff does pretty well. And then we have like a local soap maker with bath bombs and
So good.
I love all the smells.
So good. I went to her open house a couple years ago, and one of the bath bombs was in there, and I can't say that I got to use it because I didn't. My kids saw the bag sitting on the counter, and they
will get the
know
bath
Jacqueline's
bombs.
stuff. And my 16-year-old, he's a bath
used it.
bomb.
Yeah.
You know, I want to say
happens.
queen, but he's not queen. But he is all about
He
some bath
enjoys
bombs.
hot water and rest and
Yes.
relaxation.
And puts his Netflix on and
That's what I'm
enjoys one of
talking
her
about.
bath bombs.
That's what I'm talking about.
What's your favorite brand that you carry in here? Is there any one favorite that you're like, yes? And Jacqueline's stuff fits all sizes, all heights, all. Because
Yes.
I mean, when I was 70 pounds heavier last year, I could fit in all sorts of things. I'm 70 pounds lighter this year, and I'm telling you, it's the most forgiving store. I feel awesome and confident and comfortable when I come in here and try things on. I used to go Friday nights while the boys were out doing their thing, and I would cry in dressing rooms because I just didn't love what. Do we need to?
Sorry, my phone's
It's
ringing.
okay. It's fine. This is real life.
Yeah, this is real.
Real life. But yeah, I would sit and cry in the dressing rooms because nothing. You go to these, big chain stores and nothing fits the way
Yeah.
it fits the models in the thing. But you come to, you know, locals who are real women, and they think about what fits. You know,
Yes.
she's a lot taller than me. I'm super short, but you've
I'm
got
5'5", y'all.
you've got
I'm not that tall.
for all.
Yeah, I try to, because I feel the same way. So when I started the store, I weighed a good bit more than I do now. And so it was important for me to have, and then my mom is on the bigger side. And I wanted her to be able to come in and find this dadgum phone.
They think you're open.
They do.
They're like, I see people and like
I wanted to have things that fit everyone, stuff that I would feel comfortable in and stuff that my mom could wear. And so it was important for me to have bigger sizes as well. So we do carry extra small through 3X. So I tried to make sure we covered all the bases on that. But as far as a favorite brand, THML doesn't miss. They always have super cute tops, great embroidery, fun sleeves, and then
Intro's always been a favorite.
It's so
of
good,
mine.
right? I love Umgee. Jodiful has some great stuff.
Again, because you can dress that stuff up and you can dress it down. It's just however
Yeah.
your mood. If you just need to feel a little put together, you just put on
Yeah.
an intro top with, you know, some
jeans.
leggings. And,
Judy Blue is a
man.
big one. We have just started carrying them, so we haven't had, you know, a ton of options with them, and they're kind of hard to get product from.
Really?
Yeah, struggling. Well, you have those huge boutiques that are like, you know, like for instance, just Pink Lily, huge national boutique that comes to mind. They order thousands of pairs of things. So I feel like it's a little tough to get some of their stuff, but it has a cult following. Judy Blue.
I was here the other day with a pop-up. She did a pop-up shop or she did a anniversary party, and I was one of the pop-up vendors that was here. And I had people messaging me, not about the products I had, but about what she had in store. And people were asking me, what Judy Blues does she have in stock? What Judy Blues? And I'm like, they're coming, y'all. They're coming.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, we have a few.
I don't know. Let me go shop and I'll figure it out
Yeah,
for
I'll
you.
let you know. Yeah, we have a few right now, but we're waiting on some white straight leg to come in. So
I need some.
Yeah.
I need some. I had the same
White
two
jeans
pair.
are great.
They are. You can do
But over the
anything.
years, they get kind of yuck.
Mine were
dingy. Yeah.
I had two
See?
for like 7 years, and I was like, okay, I think it's time. And Bo, my son, was like, Mom, these are my favorite ones. Why are you getting rid of both of these? I'm like, 'cause I've had them forever, and I need some clean white jeans.
Yeah, crisp white jeans.
They get thrown in with some darks, and they're done.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
gosh. Yeah, that's the worst. For sure.
Well, anything that you would like to leave our audience with today?
I would just say, like my ring, go for it. Like, if there's something you're thinking that you want to pursue, go for it. Take the leap. Start the blog. Start the business. You know, like Bryn was saying, start eating healthier, drinking more water, whatever it is. Just make a step and start, because you're not going to be able to mentally, I'm not going to be able to work out every little detail. And again, that's one thing that tripped me up, you know, for a long time, was trying to feel like I have to have it all figured out to get started, and you don't. So.
Well, thank you so much for being a guest on today. We so appreciate you. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you guys later. Bye. Wow, y'all. If that episode didn't want to make you go for all the things, I don't know what will. So do what Jacqueline said and just go for it.